Welcome back to the College Cinephile. I'm your host, M. Rubio, and today we'll be watching the newest Wes Anderson stop-motion animation, The Isle of Dogs.
Wow.
Is it as great as the hipsters say it is, or is it a somewhat cliche movie drenched in style and aesthetics? The answer, yes. I am with Sydney Hatfield to tell us more. Sydney, tell us about Isle of Dogs.
Well, it was, sorry. I think it was a cute story about a boy and his dog. And there's some other stuff in between.
That's essentially the movie.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what like the reviews are of the movie, but like just from the impression from sitting in the theaters, I feel it's a Wes Anderson film. Like,
Right.
So there were a lot of hipsters in the movie, and like just their reaction to the movie is just like, I get what you're getting at, but like, it's a movie about a dog and his kid. Like,
Yeah.
It's a very straightforward movie that's just it's one of those like, it does make up for it in terms of style and substance. Like, it's a very like stylized movie, and in a lot of ways in a good way. A lot of it's kind of like, in a somewhat cultural appropriation kind of way, which we'll probably get into a little later. But it's one of those movies like, I don't know, what is the reaction to this movie? Like, I don't know much, because like, I don't know, like, if there's like a hipster war going around, like, oh, this movie's fantastic, or no, this movie is racist and promotes, Western civilization as like the white savior, blah blah blah. I don't really. It's like, I'm shocked that I'm talking about this in a movie about a dog and his boy and his friend, like.
Yeah. Ian said, and this is just Ian, so don't like actually take this to heart, but Ian said that, or maybe, was it Ian? I can't remember. Someone said that critics liked it, but then audiences were like,
See, like,
I haven't watched any reviews, so I don't know if people are calling it racist.
I know, like, just from like the brief like Wikipedias and like the headlines, it's just like, and especially from watching the movie, you're like, so it's just a movie about the white savior like helping like save the people of this dictatorship, and you're just like, okay, this is giving me a weird vibe. But I mean, other than that, like, because the movie itself is like, I really liked it in terms of the fact that it's just like a really relaxing movie just to kind of like chillax to. It's just it reminded me of like watching like Winnie the Pooh, of all things. Like, that's kind of the vibe I got. You got these cast of characters that are dumb in their own ways, and they have to do something, and like they somehow do it, despite they should have like died 10 minutes into the movie, by all accounts. And like that, I think that's kind of the humor of the movie. It's a really funny movie. It's like very awkward, and like they have these like little touches that just like, for whatever reason, just crack me up. Like
when they sneeze all throughout the movie.
There's a lot of sneezing in
Yeah.
that. Like, it makes, well, A, it's like just funny in its own right, but B, it just makes you like think like, wow, no one really sneezes in movies, like without like, unless there's like a story element to it where they have to sneeze, like for like a plot device. But no, they just sneeze, and it's just like, it has like that kind of like that layer of just why that little like bit is like really funny. Just like, and also just like the lines in it is just really funny as well. It's very well written in terms of the dialogue aspect.
Mm-hmm. I actually feel like I was let down in the humor department, because like I feel like Wes Anderson's very famous for like his sense of humor. It's very dry, and like I actually really like that. And I mean, I'm not asking to like laugh throughout the whole movie or anything, but like I feel like I was expecting kind of more humor out of it, and it wasn't really delivered to me. But like what humor there was in it, it was hilarious.
Yeah, it's just, I feel like it's one of those every trick in the book kind of things in terms of like comedy. You got some like great slapstick, like some of the meta jokes that are thrown in there, as well as like kind of the just typical jokes, and like a lot of the character traits as well are very like, almost kind of has like a very Winnie the Pooh-esque kind of like innocence and like cuteness to them. I don't know if we want to, how much we want. I don't know what is the boundary line for like spoilers anymore. It's just like oh, we said the title spoilers at this point, because it's like anything like, I feel But I guess we can go to some of the characters like there's these like all these little running gags like the Oracle, for instance, is great.
The Oracle was really good. Yeah, I don't know if we can actually talk about the joke with the Oracle, because yeah, I don't know where to draw that line. But like the jokes with the Oracle was hilarious, and it was very well played.
As well as the Duke, which is the one with the like kind of the baseball mascot.
Yes.
Which was probably my favorite character in the movie. I think played by Jeff Goldblum, if I remember. Oh, I guess that is a great way for us to segue into the voice acting in this movie.
They all sound the same.
They all sound the same, which
Yeah.
is like, because like I was watching the movie and I was like, wow, the voice acting is really good. I can't really tell it, like who's playing it, and I feel that's like a good indicator if it's a good voice performance. But at the same time, I was just like, well, everyone else, like I think part of it is just because everyone just sounds the same.
Okay, I got a question. What's your favorite food?
A double portion of doggy chop from the can mixed into a bowl of broken puppy snaps with a vitamin crushed up into it.
King's the spokes dog for that. He's the doggy chop dog.
Yeah, used to be.
Was that your daily meal?
Not always. My master was a school teacher. We weren't rich, you know. You?
A center-cut Kobe ribeye, seared on the bone with salt and pepper.
Wow.
It was my birthday supper every year.
Mine's hot sausage yakitori style. The snack vendor always saved me one on game days.
Duke?
Green tea ice cream. My master had a sweet tooth.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like I agree with you on that. Like I couldn't tell which actor it was, but they all sound the same. And like it's a star-studded cast, which I think would have been more impactful if it was a live-action movie and they were all playing off each other like on a set or whatever. But yeah, it's voice acting, and they all sound the same. So I wish he had gotten more diverse in tone voice actors, I guess.
Yeah, I mean it's like especially considering like there's a lot of like one article that I remember like early on is the fact that there's a period in the movie where people were just falling asleep in the movie, and I never really had that problem. I will say though, if you're gonna watch this movie, do not watch it at your house like with a laptop. I feel it's you either watch it in a theater or you watch it without any distractions. Because I feel if you have any distractions, you will not pay attention to this movie.
That's kind of true, because like there was one point where I committed like the ultimate cinema sin, and I texted my mom during the movie because she was calling me, and I had to be like, oh, I'm in a movie. And so like, and after I did that, I feel like I was kind of like a little lost. And then there was one moment where I was paying the bill, and then I felt like I was lost after that too.
It's one of those movies where it's just like it's not boring. I would never call this movie boring, but I feel it's like because it's so slow paced, it's one of those movies where it's just like you really got to be paying attention to it. Even though the movie is very simple, and like that's not calling it a bad thing. It's just one of those movies where it's just like it's a movie that has like this layer of like cliche and that makes up and it's made up for by how it's styled and how it's kind of and its animation, of course.
I would agree with that, absolutely. So talking about the animation, I love like the different mixes of animation. So obviously it's a stop motion film, but then there's also some more traditional animation, like when there's like a TV screen or something. The animation's different for that, and like I really like that blend.
Yeah.
I thought that was very nice.
The stop motion in general, like especially the lip syncing. The lip syncing is very like subtle and like how they kind of move the lips. If you really pay attention to how they actually interact. I mean, of course they're a little janky when they kind of like walk upstairs or whatever, but that's not really that bad, and it kind of works with the style of Wes Anderson. But like, yeah, it's like when it's very nuanced in a way, and like. And yeah, it's stop motion. It's hard not to like stop motion. I can't really think of a stop motion movie I genuinely disliked. Like not off the top of my head. Like there's Coraline and there's all the Leica films that are fantastic. Like Paranorman's claymation, so I don't think that really counts.
I mean, don't they have to like move and stop the clay?
It's an aspect of stop motion, but like I feel it's like really I feel like it's kind of like two different things. I feel, but. Yeah, the animation's like super good. Like a lot of it in terms of production value, it's really solid. It's just like there's just these layers of just like, oh, there's like this talk about cultural appropriation. There's talk about like all these stuff. Like usually I wouldn't really be a big like, I guess like for lack of a better word, SJW kind of But like when I was watching the movie and like kind of thinking about it, it's just one of those things where it's just like, okay, so the ending of the movie is just like this white activist kind of helps save the day, and like, well, that's not really like telling the whole story, but it's just one of those things where it's just like that's one way you can look at it, and it kind of makes the movie just a little weird in that way.
Yeah. So should we go into cultural appropriation? Because, like, I mean, I'm white, but I didn't necessarily see it that way. But I also feel like there might be an argument there.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm not like, it's not one or the other, but you can make that argument because it is like that prevalent, I feel, especially when you kind of make these historical, like there's definitely a lot of historical comparisons with a lot of like really famous genocides and tyrannical overtakes.
Like the mayor, like his, like the poster behind him, it's all like big and blown up. And it was very reminiscent of Mao.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So even though like for those that are like arguing like, oh, it's not cultural appropriation, it's like you can't help but see it because Wes Anderson is like purposefully making these comparisons to these historical things. So it's like one of those things where it's just like, so yeah, you can make these arguments, I feel. Whether it's a bad or good thing is like up to you, I feel. I didn't have a problem with it when I first watched it, but after like thinking about it, like afterwards, it's one of those things where it's just like, it's kind of weird. And it's kind of like, it's like, okay, it's hard not to not look at it, that movie the same way after kind of making that connection.
Yeah, I can see that. I want to kind of switch gears to like kind of the more character and like story elements. So like there was a few other problems that I had with this movie. One of them being like the love interests in this movie like were weird. So like Chief, the main dog, he has this love interest in this dog called Nutmeg, played by Scarlett Johansson. And like she literally had 2 scenes where she spoke. 2 scenes. And like it was very unnecessary, and I feel like that character was only there because Scarlett Johansson was there.
The romance is almost unnecessary in this movie.
Exactly. And then like, so it's in the trailer, but the girl, the one white character, she's like, I have a crush on you, and she's talking about the little boy, and it's like, it came out of nowhere. And like in the whole context of the movie, it was like, I didn't think that's why you were doing all of this. I thought it was just because you were like an activist or like you were really passionate about journalism. But like, no, she has a crush on this boy, and it was so out of place and so weird.
Atari Kobayashi, you heroically hijacked a junior turboprop XJ750 and flew it to the island because of your dog. Darn it. I've got a crush on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so like, cause yeah, it's just like, it feels like everything, like those like elements are just tacked on to a movie that's like, I feel like it was one of those things like, oh, this movie is pretty simple and straightforward. We got to kind of add on to it to make it a little more complex. But then you get like, it's just one of those things where you kind of just, it feels like they just kind of stitched it on. And yeah, I just, a lot of, it's a weird movie, I guess. And I guess it's a Wes Anderson film. So like, I guess you can't go through a Wes Anderson review without saying it's weird. But I guess in terms of final thoughts, like, cause like, it's not a movie like it's one of those movies because I really liked it, and so like the fact that I really liked it, I don't have much to say about it. It's not like a movie that I feel like you can get more mileage out of movies you hate than the movies you like. Because like for me, it's just like I thought it was fine. I was able to watch it, and I was able to relieve stress. I was able to have like a few hours of escapism. So it functioned like what a solid animation is supposed to be, and. The hipsters who like give it a 99 out of 100 are, yeah. We're next level, like we're next level hipsters, like, and just we're just this guy like, and Liliana, our editor, pointed this out. It's just like this guy at our movie that just laughed at like random things that weren't even meant to be jokes. So either like.
Because he was like, ooh, I know that tiny reference. Was it even supposed to be a reference?
It's just like these are the pseudo-intellectuals Woody Allen keeps talking about. It's just like this is bad. Like, but I don't know. It's whatever. You like what you like, and like I would recommend it. Yeah, watch it, and I feel it's one of those things you do have to watch in the movie theaters, because if you watch it anywhere else, you're going to get distracted, and because this movie does have its lulls, and
Yes, it does.
yeah,
Yeah. I would also say, like, for like one last thing. So like, Chief, he travels with what, four other dogs, and I really like those other dogs. I thought they were really funny, but I wanted more of them. I really did, because I like them a lot. And there's a good, I'd say 20 minutes where they're out of the film, and I really wanted them there.
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I feel it's like this. It's the animation version of like Royal Tenenbaums, which is his other film, which is like it's solid, but it's just like there's a lot of characters. It's pretty straightforward, and it's like I feel like movies like Grand Budapest and Fantastic Mr. Fox are much stronger movies, and I would probably prefer watching those over this one. But yeah, I think that's pretty much really all I have to really say about it.
Yeah, I think I've said, because like going into this, I was like, I don't know how I'm going to review this, but I think we've.
It's nice to know that
Yeah.
hipsters like racist stuff too. Well, that'll be it for today. Tune in next time for another episode of the College Cinephile. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time.